Hello and welcome to this tutorial on creating custom transparent objects in ClimateStudio. Several people in the class have asked about how to model water and how to model glass block and other kinds of materials that cause caustics or have a semi-diffuse, semi-specular transmission. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how to do that. There are some limitations with ClimateStudio that won't allow us to fully access all of the underlying simulation engine's capability to model these accurately, but we can get a pretty good approximation. So here's our model, and I've added a skylight here to show you how we might approach a pool on top with glass. And so what I've got is a skylight, which is glass. That's this material, so that's intended to be glass. And then I've got this gray material, which will be water on top of that. So it's as if we're modeling sort of the top of the water and the top of the glass separately. And then I've extended the skylight well, the ceiling up, so we'll see that edge. So let's look at that first. So in order to do this, for the water component of this, I'll go to a custom material, and you'll see in the materials in the library that I've sent you on the class website, there's two waters. There's a water bumpy and there's a water wavy. The water bumpy is a smaller scale and the water wavy is a bigger scale, and I'll show you how to change the scale if you need to. The way this material works is that it's something called a dielectric material, which gives both transmission, reflection, and refraction. The coefficient of refraction you see right there, 1.33, that's the coefficient of reflection for water. And the transmission, or in this case absorption, for a dielectric material is controlled by three channels: R, red, green, and blue. So if you wanted to change the color, you could change the RGB values that control how much of the light is absorbed. Right now there's very little light that's being absorbed by this, because primarily I wanted to control the light transmission through the glass. And I've just reduced the red channel a little bit to give it a kind of bluish green tinge, but it's pretty neutral. Then on top of that dielectric, which is a smooth surface, I'm adding a function that changes the surface material, almost like a bump map you might see in other rendering software. This is a type of perturbation that changes the surface normal that's called wrinkle. Wrinkle.cal is the name of the sort of program within Radiance that is doing that. And this has its own interesting possibilities, characteristics. So this X wrinkle, Y wrinkle, and Z wrinkle are controlled by these three numbers right here. So these are in radiance units, which is the units of your model. So if your model's in meters, it's in meters. If your model's in feet, it's in feet. My model's in meters, so this is 0.2 meters in the X direction, 0.3 in the Y direction, and 0.1 is the amplitude of the wave in the Z direction. So this is approximately a foot, and then we can sort of work backwards from there. The other thing that's helpful is this scaling function. So this dash S gives a scale. This is a scale of 1, meaning that this is going to wrinkle at this precise rate, but we can change that easily by reducing that scale there. So that's the wavy one. For the bumpy one, you'll see it's very similar, but it's got a smaller scale. And so this is an easy way to quickly decide the sort of scale of your surface. And this is going to depend on the depth of water, what the wind conditions are, how big a surface it is, etc. So I'll leave that to you to figure out. But if I select that, then it should model it. And then I also need to add my skylight. So the skylight, I'm going to just use a glass material. And again, I'm going to use the very transparent one just for now so we can see. And that was a test you just saw. Um, oh, whoops. This is I didn't mean to do that. Let's redo our glass for the front. You'll see where that's coming from in a second. So here's our glass facade with the skylight and the pool of water overhead. And this might take a little longer to do depending on your computer because it's processing all those wrinkles. But that gives you a decent approximation of it. Then several of you have asked about glass blocks, so I wanted to show you how to do that. I'm going to reset my water here, so I'm going to clear that so we don't see it. I'm going to take my skylight and make it an opaque material so that it's not confusing. And then we are going to look at the window material, which is currently this very transparent glass. We're going to turn it into a custom material, and you'll see I've got a glass block in here. And actually there's one more component before we render this that I wanted to show you that helps, which is adding the seams between the glass block, the mortar. So I've modeled that as a grid here, and let's see, yeah, I think this is a pretty good approximation of that glass block. And you can see that it's a semi-specular material. It's not perfectly diffuse. It does give a little bit of irregular light. You can see the light is biased in the direction the sun is coming in. There are, however, no real caustics from this. So caustics have to be modeled using a very specific photon mapping algorithm, and ClimateStudio does not make that available to us. So we won't be able to do it. This is as good as we're going to be able to get it. It's pretty good. One piece of advice on this glass is that as you model it, there's a couple things I want to show you that worked for me. One is having some thickness to the mortar, because most glass block, the real thickness of the glass block is usually from 2 to 4 inches or so. And having the inside face of the glass be just slightly in from the face, you can see there, of the grout, which will allow that grout to, you'll be able to see the grout more effectively that way. And also, this is a pretty transparent material. Actually, I should show you this definition is very similar to the water definition. It's also using that wrinkle perturbation. This is using a trans material, which is a translucent material, and so this is a little bit more complex because it includes both diffuse and specular component in reflection and transmission. But if you want to reduce the transparency or transmission, I would suggest the easiest way would be to model glass, specular glass, clear glass on the outside as a second layer that is on its own layer. So that, but then adding what would I call this, glass and then I would change that. So then you can select the appropriate transparency for the total assembly as well. So say I went to something like that, and then this is going to reduce the overall transparency. If I were to take the luminance of that area, it's 2249, and as I add that extra glass to it, you'll see it both has a green tint to it and it reduces the overall transmission by a little bit more than half in this case. So that's just some advice on how to model this accurately and get some real numbers associated with it.